Have you ever heard of the Great Emuy War? Yes, you heard that right. A war against emus. It sounds like a joke, but in 1932, Australia actually declared war on its own native birds. And guess what? The emus won. So, here's the backstory. After World War I, the Australian government gave land to many ex-soldiers to become farmers. They settled in Western Australia, a pretty harsh and arid region. Things were tough, but they were making it work. Then, the Great Depression hit, and wheat prices plummeted. To make matters worse, a massive flock of about 20,000 emus decided to migrate right through their farmlands. Now, emus are huge birds, and they are always hungry. They trampled fences, devoured crops, and basically wreaked havoc on these already struggling farms. The farmers, many of whom were veterans, were desperate. They went to the government for help, and someone had a brilliant, or maybe not so brilliant, idea. Why not use machine guns? The Minister of Defense, Sir George Pearce, agreed. He sent in a small contingent of soldiers from the Royal Australian Artillery, armed with 2 Lewis machine guns and 10,000 rounds of ammunition. The media got wind of it, and a cinematographer even came along to film the glorious victory. They thought it would be a walk in the park. Man versus bird. Easy win for man, right? Wrong. The first attempt was a total disaster. The soldiers spotted a group of about 50 emus. They set up their machine guns and opened fire. But the emus were surprisingly clever. They scattered in all directions, running in unpredictable patterns, making them incredibly difficult targets. After firing hundreds of rounds, the soldiers had only managed to take down a handful of birds. The emus were faster and more agile than anyone had anticipated. The commanding officer, Major Meredith, was astounded. He said, "If we had a military division with the bullet-carrying capacity of these birds, it would face any army in the world. They can face machine guns with the invulnerability of tanks." The emus were like feathered guerrilla warriors. Over the next few days, the military tried different tactics. They tried ambushing them near watering holes. They even tried mounting a machine gun on a truck to chase them down. This led to a comical scene where the truck couldn't keep up with the birds on the bumpy terrain, and the gunner couldn't get a steady shot. The truck ended up crashing through a fence, and not a single emu was hit. After about a week of this embarrassing failure, and with a lot of negative press, the military operation was called off. The soldiers had used nearly 2,500 rounds of ammunition to kill, at best, a few hundred emus. It was a humiliating defeat. The emus had outsmarted and outmaneuvered the Australian army. The farmers were still in trouble, so a few weeks later, the military was sent back in for a second try. This time, they had slightly more success, but the overall result was the same. The cost of the operation far outweighed the damage the emus were causing. Eventually, the government realized that military intervention wasn't the answer. So what happened in the end? The government implemented a bounty system, which proved to be much more effective in the long run. Better fencing was the real solution to keeping the emus out of the farmlands. The Great Emuy War remains one of history's most bizarre and hilarious conflicts. It's a classic tale of underestimating your opponent and a reminder that sometimes nature has a way of fighting back in the most unexpected ways. It's a story that proves reality can be stranger and funnier than fiction. So next time you see an emu, show some respect. You're looking at an undefeated champion. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this weird piece of history, don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories you probably didn't learn in school. See you next time.